boxing. Back with a gym. Um, Waiting for somebody to jump on and let me know if my sound's working because I was just live. I had to end the live because they told me there was no sound. Made an adjustment. I don't know if there's sound or not. But I got to talk about this event from my home state, Jersey, up in North. On Saturday night, Jersey's brightest star in boxing, Shakur Stevenson, returned home and put on a one-sided and dominant, I wouldn't say dominant, uncompetitive, lopsided, like I said, performance and winning against Artunia, I think his name is, on Saturday night. But while it was a lopsided, non-competitive affair, largely for most of the fight, it failed to impress, and it failed to impress to the point where Shakur is under a lot of fire in media and on social media, and he's not responding well to it. I think fighters need to understand that if you pay attention to your own press and are receptive to the applause and praise when the media loves you, you cannot in turn become an enemy of the media or discredit them or want them to shut up and not have an opinion when it's not favorable to you. Either their opinions are valuable or they're not. Whether it's good or bad, I mean, you have to be consistent. Also, they have a job to do. Just like you have a job to do with fight. If no media reports on your fights, it's impossible for you to be the caliber of fighter that you would like to become. Um, which is, I think, a pay-per-view star, and you want to reach the level or ascend higher of a level than that of Javante Tank Davis, and you can't do that without the media and the public, and their money. Along with their money comes opinions, and those opinions a lot of times when it's something that they dislike is going to be strongly expressed. And I know you say you don't owe it to the fans to fight the way they want you to fight, or you don't care what they have to say. Well, even if that's true within your heart, your mouth should never speak it again, because in order for you to become what you want to become in boxing, unfortunately, it's not like other sports where, like in the NBA, if you just win the championship, you top dog. It doesn't matter. In boxing, it's an actual sport where you can win the championship and still make less money than someone who doesn't have a championship, because it's all dictated by popularity and how the fans, look at you, the casual fans, and whether or not they're willing to spend their dollars to see you fight. So to not care how the fans view you as a fighter is not something that's going to be advantageous to you as a fighter. So I think you need to get that clear. Number one. Number two, your grandfather was employed to fight much more aggressively, to step it up a little bit, intelligently, of course, but because he saw, I think, what I saw as well. As a trained eye on the outside, you see things that the fighter on the inside does not see. And he probably knows you. I bet money he knows you better than you know yourself. So he knows what your limitations are. He knows what your peaks are. So he knew that if you, and I felt like I saw this too, if you had just did a little more, if you, committed to a sustained attack, you would have got the knockout that would have put you in a position where you wouldn't be dealing with the level of criticism you're dealing with right now. And, you were unwilling. You even, kind of refuted what he was saying and told him you got it. You didn't have it because you're dealing with what you're dealing with now, and that's a unsatisfied customer. And believe it or not, that's what fans are, customers. Just like if you go to a restaurant, you order a steak dinner, and the steak dinner doesn't come out to your liking, you have the right to complain about that product that you paid your money for. And the people that showed up to the Prudential Center on Saturday night paid their money to see a performance by you. right, wrong, or indifferent, they have the right to express their opinion on that performance or grade that performance because they paid to see it. You know what I mean? That you work for them. When people pay to see you do something or pay for something, they're buying a service. And like I said, everybody has the right to have an opinion on their purchase. And your fight is no different. With that being said, again, if you just, were a little more of a risk taker, and I think obviously with your grandfather, once you pick it up, he thinks as well. You have all the tools. I understand, no fighter wants to get hit, but you have all the tools to be defensive while being offensive. Like Shakur can do both at the same time, like most of the greats can. Like Keyshawn Davis on your undercard did Saturday night. Stood right in the pocket. I don't think he got hit much more than you did. He was in against a rugged, tough Mexican fighter with 31 wins and 28 knockouts. Very strong puncher. And, he stood right in the pocket. And I ain't gonna say he made it look easy, but he dominated that fight in the same fashion that you dominated yours. But it was just much more exciting to watch. And I think that's what you get confused with the general public. They're all critiquing you because they all have, including me, a very high opinion of your talent level. And to whom much is given, much is required. And because we believe you're so talented, we expect not average performances from you, but exceptional performances from you. So we expect you to actually be dominant in your fights, not because we're asking for something we feel like you can't do, but because we feel like you have all the talent to do it, just are not willing to do it. So that's where the disconnect is at. It's not a disrespect, Shakur. Nobody's saying that Shakur is not a great fighter. Nobody's saying that Shakur is not extremely talented. But because you're extremely talented, most people, most fans, and the media, and part of it and due to you and the way you talk too, about you being that guy. Well, if you're going to be that guy, that guy comes with responsibilities. It comes with expectations, and it comes with strong negative opinions when those expectations aren't met. So what I can say is keep your head up, champ. And in order to be who you say you want to be in the boxing ring, you're going to have to change your approach. If not, just keep quietly collecting your victories, and whatever money it is that comes with that, and stop arguing with the media and the fans, because you can't say you don't care and then turn around and go on a 24-hour Twitter or X rant against everybody that has a negative opinion about your performance. Like those two don't add up. But like I said, I think you can become that pay-per-view fighter. I think you have all the talent to do that. I think you have the charisma, the look, everything. The only thing missing is your approach to the game and the way you fight. People want to see you dominate your opponents. You win lopsided, you know what I mean? You show that you're way better than your opponents, but people want to see you actually beat your opponents up like you did against Shamel Herring. That's what people want to see, from you. And if they don't, they're gonna voice that displeasure, and they have every right to if they actually purchase the product. It just is what it is. That's enough about that. Abdullah Mason, absolute juggernaut. I think Top Rank made a power move. And this may make Shakur a little more uncomfortable too, because I think Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis got more love from the crowd in Norton than Shakur did. I mean, I can't even say I think. It's a fact. Shakur got booed. Like, the crowd was very into those two fights. So I think Shakur in the last fight of his contract and turning down the deal that Bob previously offered, Bob was able to show him, like, listen, I got two killers in your weight class coming right behind you, and they're approaching your level of popularity already. I can kind of continue to doing this without you. So, his offer, he may not make a bigger offer to Shakur. The offer may even decrease at this point, as, he fought at home. It wasn't a sellout. They had that curtain around that top section. I was there in the crowd, and there was a part of to the left of me, there was a part of the arena that didn't even have seating in it. Like, they didn't even open it up. ESPN had their boom crane back there, and they had like a little set for the guys that talk, but it was like 20% of the floor in the arena wasn't even set up to be sat in, and then the top row had black curtains around it. So that and still was empty seats within the seats that were open. So it wasn't a sellout. It didn't sell tremendously well. So I don't know that other promoters are going to be jumping and making offer, because again, if you can't Sorry about that. My son keeps calling me. Like I said, I'm picking my son up from the airport right now. But um, yeah, I mean, lackluster performance by Shakur, extremely talented fighter. In order to reach the level of stardom that he wants, he's gonna have to change his approach to the game. But I think I was talking about Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason, absolute juggernaut, completely outclassed LeBron. Stopped him in the third. I think it was over in the second. Really, his corner rescued him in the third, but it was evident 30 seconds into the fight who was the boss. I look forward to seeing Abdullah Mason more against stiffer competition. He already has his next fight scheduled next month on the undercard. He's a co-main of somebody in Montreal, Canada. So we will be seeing more of Abdullah Mason. Um, then Keyshawn Davis put on the fight of the night. Um, I think he was had every bit of lopsided of a victory as Shakur did, but he did it the way fans want to see Shakur do it. As he stood in the pocket, he exchanged, but still was able to show great defense reflexes and keep himself out of harm's way against, on paper, a much bigger puncher than what Shakur was facing. His opponent had 31 victories, 28 knockouts, rugged Mexican who fought just as hard in the 12th round as he did in the first round, continuously came all night. And, Keyshawn just beat him to the punch, turned him in shots, rolled his shots, showed great ring generalship. And just showed dog because he was able to keep that strong raging bull off him all night long. And I think it was the best performance of his career. Definitely the fight of the night on the card the other night. And I think, he kind of put Top Rank and Bob on notice, unfortunately, even though him and Shakur are really cool, that you guys don't have to be pressed to re-sign Shakur because I'm still here. And I'm approaching that level, if not there. And to be honest, I think the crowd, I can't even say, I mean, factually, the crowd reacted much more positively to Keyshawn Davis than they did Shakur Stevenson in Shakur Stevenson's hometown. So imagine if you take him to his hometown and put on a card. He's an exciting fighter, says all the right things, has the same, amateur pedigree as Shakur, as an Olympic silver medalist, hasn't won a world title yet, so he's not as accomplished, but seems to be right there on the cusp of starting to make some noise and, giving Top Rank a viable replacement for Shakur at lightweight. So he may end up regretting turning down that 5-year, $15 million deal, or because I don't know that a bigger deal is coming. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. It doesn't seem likely. Eddie Hearn already came out and said he wouldn't give Shakur what Bob was offering, and I don't see. Al already has Tank and Canelo. I don't, see where he would be interested in Shakur. So the offer may go down, what I mean, which is a sin. But that's the reality. That's the reality of the situation. You had a couple bad performances at the worst possible career during contract time. And I think Shakur's a little bit out of touch with reality with, not his skill set, because his skill set is through the roof, but his star power. And skill set doesn't always put money in your pockets. This isn't football or basketball where the best team wins the championship and you're just top dog because you won the championship. Boxing doesn't work that way. You got champions fighting for $50,000. You got guys without titles fighting for millions. Boxing just works that way. It's about star power. So, I mean, being the best skill wise doesn't guarantee you, what you're looking for, which is superstardom and multi-million-dollar paydays. You know what I mean? It just doesn't guarantee that. So, you have to have a more fan-friendly style in order to command, that type of cachet. And, unfortunately at this point, I don't think, Shakur does. And like I said, Bob Arum at Top Rank have a couple killers at lightweight coming behind him that put them in a position where they don't really have to, curtail to what he's saying. With that being said, oh yeah, I had to say, they're going back and forth with the media and disrespecting Mason Cam. And I'm not going to just say this to Shakur, this to all fighters. Stop getting mad at the media for giving their honest opinion. Without the media, there is no you. People have to write on you in order for you to exist in professional sports, in order to bring eyes to you, which in turn generates revenue. So stop getting mad at the media for having an opinion, and especially when a lot of the fighters accept all the praise when the media is praising them, but want the media to shut up, or thinks the media don't deserve to have an opinion when it's negative. That has to stop. That has to stop. There is no you without media. Accept your criticism. Take it as constructive criticism. Either that or ignore the criticism, but ignore the praise as well. If you don't want the criticism, don't accept the praise. You know what I mean? Just go about your business and act like the media doesn't exist. But arguing with the media, thinking you're going to get them to shut up, you're wasting your time, Playboy. These people get paid to report on you, and if they stop reporting on you, that means your career is over. So you don't want that. You know what I mean? You don't want to be one of those fighters fighting in ballrooms with, just local media there and nobody cares. You know what I mean? I think you need to be careful what you asking for, because what you're essentially saying is you want all the media to show up and only give an opinion if it's, if they're praising you, and if they're not, they shouldn't have an opinion. It just, that doesn't work that way. So allow the media to do their job. Either ignore the media or perform in a way that's going to get them to write the way you would like to see them write. If not, you know what I mean? That's there's no win there. There's no win there. Fighters, athletes, stop getting mad at the media. You want the narrative to change, up your performance. That's it. But that's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.